Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Straight from the U.S. Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs is a news release that came out this week, and I wanted to share it with you as it touches on three pieces of legislation that got signed into law this year. It's basically a nice reminder of some bills that got signed into law, and wanted to bring that to your attention as the Committee on Veterans Affairs just push this out as again a gentle reminder. All right, so here we are. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. Please do two things: hit the thumbs up and let the video run. It helps to put this into the hands of those that are not aware. It's all of us doing our part, right? It's the whole many hands make light work attitude. So if you want to support the channel in other ways, please consider being a member. That does help out the channel a lot, and it also helps me to find you in the comments. You can hit that join button. All right, thank you so much. Let's jump into it. So the headline here in the press release is, and again, this is directly from the Veterans Affairs Committee site. So from the headline, it states, Tester delivers for veterans in 2023. President Biden signed 3 tester veterans bills into law, the most of any of the 535 members of Congress, delivering stronger benefits and health care to veterans and their families. Again, this just came out actually on Thursday, December 21st, 2023. And moving on, Senate Veterans Affairs Committee Chairman John Tester successfully passed 3 bipartisan veterans bills into law this year, the most of any member of Congress. These new laws are part of Tester's continued commitment to deliver timely and quality healthcare benefits and services to veterans and their families. And moving on, there's a quote here. The cost of war continues long after our service members leave uniform, and I'm proud we fought to deliver significant wins that help veterans better access the care and benefits they earned during their service, said Tester. From delivering long overdue care and benefits to hundreds of thousands of toxic exposed veterans and their loved ones through the PACT Act, to increasing VA's compensation benefits for veterans with service-connected disabilities and military survivors and more. We've still got a lot of work to do, and I'll continue to take my cues from veterans and work with anyone, Republican or Democrat, to make sure we're honoring our commitment we made to our nation's veterans. President Joe Biden signed the following bipartisan veterans bills authored by Tester in 2023 into law, the most of any lawmaker in the 118th Congress to date. So now there's the 3 bullet points on the 3 pieces of legislation. All right, so the first one is the Veterans Compensation Cost of Living Adjustment Act of 2023. Obviously, it provides a 3.2% cost of living increase for Department of Veterans Affairs compensation benefits for veterans with service-connected disabilities and military survivors. The next bullet is Fiscal Year 2023 Veterans Affairs Major Medical Facility Authorization Act. It approves several VA construction projects to better serve veterans nationwide, including at Fort Harrison VA Medical Center in Montana. Now, they reference Montana because Tester is from Montana, so he's going to obviously plug Montana where he can. Moving on. Fiscal year 2024 VA extenders legislation extends critical VA services and programs relied upon by the nation's veterans and their families, including those that ensure veterans have timely access to medical disability examinations, protect student veterans from losing their earned GI Bill or other VA education benefits when educational institutions are closed, and extend emergency preparedness funding for VA to support its critical role in responding to public health or other emergencies. As chairman, Tester also secured the following victories for veterans and their families in Montana and across the nation. And there's, 5 or 6 bullet points here. So, Tester successfully pushed VA to halt foreclosures for 6 months for veterans at risk of losing their home through no fault of their own. And this brings me to this point, which is not this video, but I've done a couple videos on the potential of the proposed rating schedule changes for respiratory, auditory, and mental health from the VA, and that's been trickling around, and wanted to find out, is the VA still moving forward with that, or has it stopped? I did put a call into DC to my congressional representative's office in DC, and they're going to reach out to the VA liaison for them, and then you reach back to me and let me know. And depending on the news I get from them, I'm probably going to circle back around and call for a meeting with Tester to inform him if he's not fully aware. So anyway, moving back on to the bullet points here for the additional victories. So following sustained efforts from Tester, VA delayed a rule to change reimbursement rates for special mode transportation, including air and ground ambulances, that could have resulted in severe reductions in access to their services for rural America. Now, I've done videos on that regarding the VA's desire to drastically reduce the amount that they pay for ambulatory services. So he was able to slow that down or stop that. Moving on, next bullet, VA announced a tougher electronic health record modernization program contract with Oracle that has better protections for veterans and taxpayers following sustained pressure from Tester pushing VA to aggressively renegotiate the contract. This change came on the heels of VA announcing a broad overhaul of the EHRM program in line with Tester's bipartisan EHR Reset Act. Next bullet point here. As chairman and a senior member of the Senate Appropriations Committee, Tester helped secure a new, expanded, I'm not sure how to say it, Kalispell clinic that will be built to better serve Flathead area veterans. The clinic will offer expanded healthcare services, including primary care, mental health, pharmacy services, and women's health, to an estimated 5,800 veterans in the area. Moving on, next bullet. Tester marked the 1-year anniversary of his Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson, honoring our promise to address Comprehensive Toxins Act, the PACT Act, which has provided a historic expansion of care and benefits for generations of toxic exposed veterans and their families. More than 1 million toxic exposed veterans and survivors have filed for PACT Act claims. More than 600,000 veterans and survivors claims have been approved, and more than 5 million veterans have been screened for toxic exposure under this law. And I recently did a video on the 5 million that were screened, and of that 5 million, nearly half had potential exposure. So moving on, following the chairman's backing, Josh Jacobs was confirmed as VA Undersecretary for Benefits, and Tanya Bradshaw was confirmed as VA Deputy Secretary. Under Tester's leadership, all top 5 VA leadership posts are filled for the first time since 2014. As chairman, Tester led 19 Senate Veterans Affairs Committee hearings on topics including VA's mental health and suicide prevention efforts, the Military to Civilian Transition PACT Act implementation, preventing financial exploitation of veterans and their benefits, substance use disorder care for veterans in rural America, and on pending legislation to improve accountability at VA and boost the department's workforce. Tester also hosted PACT Act roundtables and events in a few locations throughout Montana to hear directly from toxic exposed veterans about the law's implementation and their experiences applying for and receiving PACT Act benefits, and a TRICARE roundtable in Great Falls. Chairman Tester also received the following awards for his efforts on behalf of veterans and their families: the Disabled American Veterans DAV Champion Award, DAV's highest legislative honor, and the National Coalition from Homeless Veterans Public Policy Award, in part for his effort to get the charge account or CHARGE Act over the finish line, and the American Ambulance Association's Legislator of the Year award. In recognition of his work to push back on VA's rules to change reimbursement rates for air and ground emergency transportation services that are critical in connecting rural veterans with life-saving care. When the Senate returns in 2024, Tester is committed to working to expand veterans' access to health care and benefits no matter where they live. The chairman will continue his push to improve veterans' mental health care and VA's community care program with his Making Community Care Work for Veterans Act to fix an injustice preventing combat-injured veterans from receiving their full military benefits with his bipartisan Major Richard Starr Act, to hold unaccredited crooks scamming veterans' hard-earned benefits accountable with his bipartisan Guard VA Benefits Act, to strengthen accountability at VA with his bipartisan LEAD Act, and build VA's capacity to serve veterans, especially in rural America, with his bipartisan VA Careers Act and BUILD Act. A longtime champion for veterans, Tester has worked alongside veterans and veteran service organizations to shepherd landmark bipartisan legislation through Congress for veterans and their families, such as the PACT Act, the Blue Water Navy Vietnam Veterans Act, which was a great act, long overdue, the Commander John Scott Hannon Veterans Mental Health Care Improvement Act, the Deborah Sampson Act, the Johnny Isaacson and David P. Rowe, MD Veterans Health Care and Benefits Improvement Act. All right, that concludes the, I guess, the press release kind of on the legislation that was signed into law, and I like that they tied in some pending legislation that's going to be hammered on when they return here in 2024. So we will be keeping an eye on that. Really appreciate all the support. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great one, and remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.